welcome to Ripples. Thanks for being here at the end of the waning moon. A new moon tomorrow, apparently. Hello, Angel. Hey, y'all. We haven't met, but you're very welcome. So, well, in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about, or 3 weeks, we've been talking about, can you hear me? Yes, we've been talking about sending out ripples in order to foster a new view, a fresh view, an intelligent view. And of course, I should have seen this coming, but I'm learning all sorts of new things myself, and one of them happened last night. Really amazing. So my daughter Miriam is very interested in politics. She sort of won't admit it, but she loves politics. So we don't have a television, but we decided that we would start a family tradition, because normally we don't sit around watching screens together, but we thought, well, we'll watch The West Wing and sort of sneak this popular awareness of politics into her, anyway, make it more fun. Well, I think no one's enjoying it more than Andrew and I, but last night in this episode, it was an episode about once a year, the special interest groups that don't normally get to have a voice in the White House, they get pulled out of a hat almost, and then every person on the White House staff gets assigned one of these interest groups, and then they have to pitch their story in 15 minutes or something. So one of these groups was the Society for Equality for Cartography, and I thought, wow, what is that about? And anyway, so they had this little feature item in this West Wing episode, and explained that the map of the world as we know it, as we learned it in school, at least as I learned it in school, has the northern hemisphere up the top and the southern hemisphere down the bottom. And then because the longitudinal lines, as they come to the North and the South Pole, they move closer together. When you make a flat map out of it, all that land mass, all those land masses get stretched out in an artificial way, and it distorts the size of the country. So on that map, as we know it, on a flat map, Greenland and Africa appear to be roughly the same size, whereas Africa is actually 14 times the size of Greenland. That's how much of a stretch that happens in Greenland. So there's this movement, and actually I think the state of Massachusetts since 2017 has dispensed with the Mercator version of the map, and now they teach the Peters version of the map, which adjusts for this distortion. And also, did you know did you know that there's no reason for the northern hemisphere to be up the top? The whole world could be upside down. It would be just the same, because it's this ball that spins around in space. It doesn't really matter what's north and south. And that the whole map has been drawn to highlight colonialism, to make the colonial countries, or the British colonies, appear bigger, and to make Europe appear bigger. It's so interesting, and it was a complete wake up. And I thought, oh wow, I'm seeing something something really obvious for the very, very first time. And so I thought, to celebrate the emergence of new views in the populace. So we're taking a more positive view now. Instead of creating a ripple trying to elicit a new view, well, why don't we just start celebrating that they're already emerging? And the reception of new information, or the reception of information, period, occurs courtesy of the thin fluids that bathe the sensory orifices. You can't see anything unless you have thin fluids bathing your eyes. You can't smell anything unless you have thin fluids bathing the interior of your nose. You can't taste anything unless you have fluids, saliva. And you can't hear anything unless you have those fluids in the ear canal. It's all very, very interesting. You can't actually feel anything unless there's moisture in your skin. There's no transmission. So the point that brings fluids to the sensory orifices to foster the adoption of a new view happens courtesy of stomach 42, the surging chong. So stomach 42, one needle in stomach 42 on the dorsum of the foot will bring saliva into the mouth. It will even make the eyes water. It can make the nose run. It will stimulate all this movement. Stomach 42 probably, I think, is the most powerful point I can think of to heighten the perception of the sensory orifices. And to back that up, you would have to make the fluids in the first place, and that could be courtesy of RAN 12, triple heated 2, any of these ones. I'm trying to think of something interesting that we haven't done before, but the origin of fluids itself, the central vessel at RAN 12, it's got to be the most powerful. So I hope that's not too boring. It's just a different slant on 2 points that we've done perhaps twice before, just a fresh take on it. And so the ripple would be, I think we covered, I said everything, didn't I? Okay, so thanks so much for being here, and welcome Ijal or Ial, big welcome to you. Okay, let's get to work. All right.